Hi guys, I'm Chamil Abeykoon. You should have been watching my the videos in my YouTube channel actually. So some of the students were contacting me asking about the higher education system in the UK, and then how we can just apply for higher studies and so on. There were so many questions and emails that I've been receiving over the last few weeks. So therefore, I thought it is good to just create a short the video on how to just the apply for funding in UK education system or within the UK universities, and also how you can just secure funding for postgraduate studies if possible, and so on. So therefore, so here I would like to give you some kind of brief the idea about how you can apply for the postgraduate studies in the UK, and also if you are looking for some sort of the funding support, and also I'm going to give you some clues on how to apply and where to apply and so on. Okay, so I know that so most of the youngsters are just looking for high studies, especially postgraduate studies after their bachelors. So they want to just do some masters or MPhil or PhDs. And but the some of the barriers would be that they might not be able to just the support their studies due to their financial difficulties. And therefore, so most of the students might be looking for some financial support to carry on with their further studies in postgraduate level, right? So then if you want to look into kind of the UK higher education system, so then here I would like to give you some kind of brief idea about the what are the opportunities, and then the how you can apply for it, right? So this talk will just cover these main points: the postgraduate courses, the postgraduate research courses, mainly MRes, MPhil, PhDs, and then some possible funding opportunities for these studies, and also some the kind of idea about how much of the cost would be for your living in the UK while you are doing studies. Okay, so if you look into the higher education system in the UK, I'm talking about the postgraduate level only, not the bachelor's side. So then I'm going to create another video for the bachelor's side actually. So higher education system or the postgraduate side in the UK mainly will have the postgraduate Toastmasters, we call MSc courses, and then there could be the MPhil courses, Master of Philosophy, and then the PhD, Doctor of Philosophy courses in different the areas of the field actually, in engineering, in science, in physics, in humanities, and so on. In all of these areas, so you can apply for postgraduate studies in all of these levels actually. Right, so the if you look into the postgraduate master courses, so we call the taught master courses actually. So the basic requirement for a master's course is the undergraduate degree actually. So then if you have a good undergraduate degree, so then you can apply for a taught master course in the UK actually. So then if you are an undergraduate student but you are an overseas student, so then you have to just fulfill the requirements like English language requirements. So in this case, so then mostly you have to take IELTS exam. So ideally, so the most of the universities are looking for 6.5 IELTS score or the overall mark actually. But individual marks or the individual component may not be lower than 6.0. So therefore, a good bachelor's degree plus IELTS 6.5 overall score would be the basic requirement to apply for postgraduate taught the master courses in the UK universities actually. Right, so then the normally the master courses in the UK or the MSc courses in the UK is for 1 year, and then the it might have 2 semesters actually. In the semester one, the most of the courses start from the September each year, and then semester one will be from September to January. So then you will have to take the core and optional units. So that means you have to fulfill some credit the requirements to graduate with your master's degree. So at the end of the semester one, you will have exams. So mostly these exams will be closed book exam actually. And then in the semester two, mostly January to May. So again, you will have some core and optional units, and you have to complete the some number of credits again in the second semester. And also you might be starting your dissertation for master's degree during the second semester as well. So then after the May, so then you will have the exams actually for the second semester. So then the May to August, so then you'll have some time, so then you can dedicate your studies for your dissertation actually. So then you might submit the dissertation by the end of the August or early September for most of the universities. So therefore, you might start the course in September in some year, and then you will be finishing your the course in the September in the next year. So it is the fully 1 year dedicated course for MSc taught programs in the UK universities. So that is the normal structure and the basic entry requirement for a master's degree. So therefore, it is not a big problem actually. If you have a good bachelor's degree and if you can fulfill the English requirements, so then you can apply for the MSc taught courses in the UK universities. And if you talk about the course fees actually, so then it depends on the university. So some universities charge quite a high amount of the money for then the for example, if you are a local student, so then the fee is quite considerably low. So, but for overseas students, so mostly it could be even up to £30,000 per year only for the course fee actually. So universities like Manchester, the Cranfield, they have very high the course fees. The 30,000 sterling pounds would be the normal course fee, but you might get the other universities for like £10,000 the plus if you are an overseas student. So then you could say you can have the Toastmaster courses from the 10,000 the sterling pounds. So that could be a kind of the rough minimum value that you can apply for a master's degree, so which is 1 year. So then you will have to have 10,000 sterling pounds plus the some amount for living cost. I would say around the 5 to 7,000 pounds the living cost for 1 year in the UK actually. Right, so then the assessment for the Toastmaster programs actually, so it is the mostly based on two components. That is a closed book written exam, and also another part would be the other assessments like coursework, labs, the quizzes, and so on. The normal structure for the Toastmaster courses, you will have 70% from the exam, so that is the exam at the end of the semester. And then the before you go to the exam, so you'll have some the assessment points throughout the semester. You have to submit some lab reports, the courseworks and quizzes. So then these will cover altogether 30% of the unit mark. So then before you go to the exam, so you have the chance to earn 30% of the unit mark. So by answering or submitting these courseworks, labs, and quizzes. So then the in the exam, so you have to earn 70% from the overall unit mark actually. So this is a rough structure, but this could depend. So then this is the, but although the allocation of the mark might be different, but this is the rough format of the assessment criteria for MSc taught program actually. So then if you want to get some idea about the MSc grading system here, so then above 70% we call is distinction, and then between the 60 to 69.9 is merit, and then between 50 to 59.9 is a pass the degree, and then the between 40 to 49.9 is a diploma. So then if you want to pass a Toastmaster program in the UK, so then average is you should have 50% above the overall average to get a pass mark for MSc degree. Otherwise, you will be offered a diploma if you are between 40 to 50, and then otherwise, so then it's below 39.9, it's a fail so condition. So then you might not get a degree or diploma at all actually if you get below 39.9%. Right, so then if you are planning for further studies, so then I mean MPhil or PhD, so then this is a good point that you want to concentrate actually. So you can apply for master's degree in the UK, and then if you try to get a distinction and then a good the MSc dissertation, maybe let's say 70 plus, and then if you can get a 1 or 2 publications out of it, so then you'll have a good chance to apply for competitive funding in UK universities. Right, so then cause you did your master's degree in the UK, and then you get a very good mark distinction, and also you have a good dissertation which is 70 plus or maybe at least 60% plus, and then you will have a publication. So then you have a very good chance, I would say 90% chance of having a funded PhD position or funded the further study position in one of the UK universities. So therefore, if you are planning for the further studies, maybe one thing you could do, you just come for a MSc degree first, and then you try to get good marks for the MSc distinction and a good dissertation and 1 publication at least. So then then you will have very good chance to apply for the competitive funding, so which I'm going to discuss later in this talk here actually. Right, so then there's another opportunity for the postgraduate, the education is the MRes. So then this is a kind of the master's program again, but the previous one was master's based on taught programs and a dissertation actually. So this one is completely based on the research components actually. So, but this is not a quite the common or popular the program in most of the universities. So then for some universities, they will get quite a few number of students. But this is mainly based on the research component, and then this is not that popular. So then, so my recommendation would be, if you want to come for a master's, it would be the best way is you come for a Toastmaster courses, and you can apply for all over the UK, having more than 120 plus universities in the UK. So you can apply for Toastmaster courses in all of these universities ideally. So the course, the fee might be varied. So depending on your budgets, you can select the best university. But so there are some considerations when you select the university as well, if you planning for further studies after the master's degree as well. Right. As I mentioned before, in the UK, at present, there are 120 plus universities actually. So here, the when you apply for a postgraduate research, so then if you are looking for one of the good universities, is the best thing to look at is the Russell Group. Okay, so at the moment, so there are 24 universities within this Russell Group. So these are the top universities in the UK based on the research power. So that is the idea actually. So you can see all of these names actually. So these are well-known universities in the world. So then if you plan for the further studies after your master's degree maybe, so these are the kind of the best universities you can apply for, because they get the most of the research funding. So then you can apply for research funding in most of these universities. So that means if you just get a good marks from your master's degree, you might have a chance to apply for a funded PhD or MPhil position in these universities. So you check the list here now, you find the some of the universities in this list are like, some of them are really world-class universities. And then if you look into these highlighted universities, Oxford, UCL, Imperial College, Manchester, Cambridge, so all of these universities are within the first 25, 30, the top ranked universities in the world. So therefore, so they might have higher fee as well. But if you can just at least apply for one of these universities, so that would be the best, the universities to go for a research degree. So because they have the research power in the UK. Right, so then I hope you have some idea now. So these are the Russell Group universities. You can check for these universities. So then if you cannot afford the course fee in these universities, or if you cannot clear the entry requirement of these universities, still you have more than the 100 universities to apply for your postgraduate studies in the UK. Right, the Russell Group universities, they have huge social, economic, and cultural impact locally across the UK and around the globe. So if I want to give you some rough idea about their research power, although there are 120 plus universities in the UK, so these universities just produce the more than two-thirds of the world leading research the produced by UK universities. So then you can understand why they are just the powerful in research the capabilities, because they have good research facilities, and also they have some good academic staff dedicated for delivering these courses. Okay, and also the economic output is more than 32 billion every year. And also the in 2015 to 16 they got the around the 417,000 undergraduates and 192,000 postgraduate in these Russell Group universities. And then this list is growing actually. So before it was 20 universities, now it's 24 universities actually. So then the of these universities, the 39% of the academic staff and 34% of the students are non-UK nationalities actually. You could see that. So there are quite a lots of international students are studying in these Russell Group universities and also in the other universities as well. So overall in the UK, the education is one of the income source for the UK's economy. And then they just recruit lots of students from the international level. So here you could see only in these Russell Group universities, the more than 30% is coming from the abroad to study in the UK universities here. Right. Okay. So, and the Russell Group is really important, and they just get the most of the research, the funding inside in the UK and and also from the outside like Europe, and therefore, so they have the highest research power in the UK. So that is why they just group into Russell Group. So then these are the best universities to do your postgraduate studies. But so that doesn't mean you cannot apply for the other universities. So then you can apply for the others as well. Right. So then the another possibility, if you want to apply for, is the postgraduate level is the Master of Philosophy. We call it MPhil degree. So normal duration is 1 year actually. And then so this is mostly or the solely based on the research components actually. So then you might be given some certain the project. So then you have to just carry out this project within 1 year, and then submit a dissertation at the end of the year. And then, so what will happen, there will be an assessment, would be an oral viva, and then you submit the report, and there will be some oral viva examination. So then you will be having an interview at the end of the year one, or the end of the course. So then you have to defend your the work, or defend your thesis actually. So normally the panel for the viva will include two examiners, an external and an internal examiner. So external is from someone from the outside of the university. Internal is an staff member from the university, but not a staff member from your supervision team actually. Right, so then this is the kind of viva. This viva may not be tough as the PhD level, because it's just the 1 year MPhil program. So then you submit the dissertation, and then you will have the viva. The some universities offer the only the submission without a viva. So then you can have the MPhil degree if you just carry out a research at the kind of good level. So then you can have the MPhil the degree as well. So therefore, some students might not go for MRes that I mentioned before. So then they might go to MPhil rather than MRes, because so this is kind of more popular than the MRes degree actually. So the viva normally maybe 2+ hours. So but it depends on how good your work is actually. So if you have any chance to publish a paper also within during this the MPhil program, so then it will be a good factor to defend your viva course. If you can get a paper in a good journal, that means you have proved already some kind of the contribution to the knowledge. So then it would be a plus factor. Or maybe, and also if you can apply for even a PhD level if you have a publication in the MPhil level as well. Okay, hope it is clear. And then the most of the students are looking for application for the PhDs in UK universities and the other universities in the rest of the world. So in the UK, normally the duration for the PhDs could be 2 to 4 years actually. So you can submit your work within 2 years if you can depend, but you must submit your work now before 4 years actually. So that is the rule. So then you can't go beyond 4 years if if you are studying full time, right? So then, but the normal case is more that students will take 3 years and 3.5 years in most of the case. Only quite a few students will complete within the 3 years, and then, but most of the students will take 3.5 years or maybe 4 years to complete the PhD program, according to my understanding. Right. So then the mostly the PhDs are based on completely research components, but there could be some research programs. You have to follow some the courses. Maybe there could be some programs. So in the first year, you have to follow some sort of taught programs. It is a mandatory requirement to pass the first year, and then you go to the PhD from the second, third, and fourth years, and likewise. So, and also apart from that, maybe some universities offer the mandatory training programs. You have to cover some certain hours of training to graduate with your PhD. So there are some requirements in those the areas, but it's completely or mainly based on the research components. You'll just look into some research project, and then you have to contribute something new to the knowledge, or you have to expand the existing knowledge in some ways to be graduated with a PhD actually. Right, again, the assessment, it depends. Some universities they have different assessment criteria, but the most of the universities you will have the first year viva. So and once you start your PhD, at the end of the first year there will be like critical viva. So then that viva is mostly to assess your capability to do a PhD, right? So then you will submit a report. Again, there will be an internal examiner who is not in your supervision team from the same university, and then he or she will assess your capability within your interview, and then you have to defend your work, and you have to show that you are capable of the continuing with the PhD. And if you pass that viva, then you will be deferred to a PhD program actually. So then some universities might expect you to submit the reports the second year, third year as well. So then it depends again, but the main thing for a PhD is you have first year viva, and then you defend that. If you just the pass through that the milestone, and then you can go to the rest of the PhD, and then you will submit within 3 years, 3.5 years, or 4 years. So depending on the capabilities of conducting the research, right? So that's how it's work. And finally, so then the final PhD examination is just again a viva. You submit the report, and then there will be oral the examination, and then for that also includes two examiners, one external It could be from one of the UK universities, or it could be from abroad, some expert in the area that you are working. And also there will be an internal examiner. So that's again from the same the university, but someone who are not in the supervision team of your PhD. Right. So then also the supervisors can attend the viva if student agreed for them to attend. So again, this is a kind of viva which can go up to 3-4 hours or maybe even longer sometimes. Right. So then you submit the dissertation. It could be based on traditional ways, or there are another option now. So you can go by PhD by publication. So those are the two options that we have. You submit a dissertation, or now you submit the PhD by publications. So based on 3 publications, you can just the submit your PhD as well. So you can have more information the ones you just register for the PhD program. So as I said, Viva duration may vary 2 hours plus, or it may go up to 3, 4, 5 hours as well. So, and if you have in any publication in good journals, is a good the factor to have a kind of soft Viva. So it's not mandated to have any publications for a PhD here in the UK. But if you have some publications from your PhD, so it's easy. Then it will be an easy the process, because the examiners already just aware of you have published in these journals, and then they might think, okay, so you might already have just contributed something to knowledge. So that is how it works actually. Right. So then the outcome of the PhD, why normally you will get major or minor corrections. So most of the time you get minor corrections, and then very unlikely you will get you will get a pass without any corrections. So mostly minor corrections, and then few the major the corrections as well. And some student might be just offered only an MPhil if their work is not strong enough to consider as a PhD. And also quite a few students may not achieve any degree classification if they have done very poor work actually, but it's very unlikely or very rarely happen this situation. So mostly the minor or major corrections, and then you will get some very rarely some will get the MPhil only, because the work that they carried out not strong enough, and very unlikely or very rarely the students will go with any without any degree if they have done very the poor work during their PhD. So that is the rough idea about how the PhD process works, right? So then the if you look into the funding opportunities available for the MSc programs, the funding is really limited actually. So then there are funding available, but this is really limited. So most of the fundings are available for PhD level. So, but that doesn't mean no funding actually. So you can apply for some funding like Commonwealth funding. So then here you can see the link here. So then if you look into this link, you will find the possible funding opportunities. And then so then these are some of the countries eligible for the Commonwealth funding program actually. So if you are a student from a Commonwealth country, so then you can apply for this the Commonwealth funding. But this is not the only funding available for MSc level. So you can check into the university websites, and then you can check for available funding. But the funding for the MSc programs are quite limited compared to the PhD level, actually here, I would say. And then sometimes you might find some funding for the MPhil level, again quite limited as well. And but most of the funding is available for the PhDs. But this funding again, they might have some constraints. So this funding might be available mostly for UK EU students, and then there will be some availability for international students as well. So therefore, it's really competitive. So that is why you have to be really competitive to apply for the funded PhD programs in the UK actually, right? So yeah, so then the funding for PhDs are only available for very good students. So you have to be very competitive if you want to apply for or if you want to win funding scholarship for a PhD position as an international student actually. So if I want to give you some idea about what I mean by a very good student or competitive student for funding, it would be that if you have an MSc with distinction, a dissertation about 70% from your MSc, and then a couple of publications in some good journals, there's a good chance that you will get a funded position in the UK actually. So the supervisors are looking for good students. So the main criteria they are looking at you have the educational the background. So then MSc is distinction, dissertation about 70%, at least one publication in a good journal. You will have 90% chance, I would say, to win the funded position in the UK universities, in a good university actually, in a Russell group as well. right? So then otherwise a BSc with the first class and the dissertation about 70% and a publication 1 or 2, again you will get a good chance to win the PhD position. And then an MSc with distinction or BSc with first, the dissertation was 70% likely. So then publication is a main factor actually. If you have 1 or 2 papers in good journals, it makes a big difference rather than only having a MSc or the BSc actually, right? So therefore, it's a good thing if you want to think about to publish at least 1 paper based on your dissertations. So then it will increase your chance of getting a funded position by 10, at least 25% if you get a paper in a good journal. So because in PhDs, the publication is one of the main components. So therefore, supervisors would like to have some student with some experience in publications. So therefore, that is an important thing you have to think about if you are planning for applying for the funding in the UK universities. So others, the main requirement or the minimum requirement for applying for a PhD in the UK is the 2.1, the bachelor's degree. So, but as I said, if you can self-fund, you can find the PhD positions. It's not a problem. So if you can just get 2.1 bachelor's degree, you can find a PhD position in one of the UK universities if you can self-fund. But if you want to win the funding or funded position, so these are the requirements. So you should have to just brush up your CV. So then these are the main factors: educational background, and then the publications, and then good dissertation marks. Then after that, so English language. If you follow IELTS, if you can get 7+ IELTS score is a good factor again to be a competitive in the PhD funding actually. Okay, hope you understand what I mean here now. If you want to be a competitive candidate for a PhD position, so these are the requirement, right? So the way to look for funding or funded positions are advertised in different places. The findphd.com is one of the main places you can find some funded positions. All the universities normally just publish their funded PhD positions in the findphd.com, and also self-funded opportunities as well. And the jobs.ac.uk is also another competitive website. You will find mostly the funded PhD positions in jobs.ac.uk. So then you can check these websites, and then in all the areas of the studies, you can find funded PhDs. They are listed in these websites. You can apply, so you can contact the supervisors, and you can get more information if needed. And also, it is also good to check the university websites. So then the universities will publish the funding opportunities in their university websites, and then again you can just the check for the possible the funded positions in these universities. And also, so if you know any university staff, you can contact directly them, and then they will just the you can have the communication, and then they will they will just inform you there are some funding positions. And also sometimes the staff can recommend good students for the internal funding in the universities. So there's a possibility. So therefore, if you have any good contact, or try to make a good contact with one of the academic staff in the UK universities, and then they might help you by recommending you for funding. Or so it's a chance you will get some kind of the chance to win some funding. So therefore, it's worth the contacting supervisors and then check whether they might just get back with a positive reply. And then there are some other programs available as well for some particular countries. For example, UK China doctoral program. Okay, so that is available, and each year students can they apply for this. The students from China can apply for the funding from the Chinese government, and also it's a joint program between UK China. The collaboration, and UK India doctoral programs recently started. So, for example, the IIT Kanpur and the UK, some of the universities, they got some the funded the doctoral program between the some universities in the UK and India. And some the programs like UK Australia Canada doctoral programs. So the some universities, they have some specific the programs, but so these programs are available for some specific nationals as well. So therefore there are lots of opportunities, and then you have to check for it, and then get some good CV prepared, and then contact the supervision team, and then apply for them, and then you have to just brush up your CV as well. But the main thing is you try to get good the bachelor's and master's results, and maybe just try to get some 1 or 2 publications. Right. Okay. And also some other universities, they have their own the scholarship programs. So for example, in Manchester there's something called Dean's Scholarship. So then these scholarships are available for a very good international students. So then university wants to just have good students coming to the university to pursue higher studies. So therefore, so if you are a very good candidate, so then you can apply for internal scholarships, or the staff can recommend you for internal scholarships because you are a good the strong candidate, and then the universities would like to have you to do research with them, and then therefore it's always worth to check for these opportunities in university websites. Right. So then if you want to get some idea about the living cost in the UK actually, so then you may able to rent some place while you're doing studies, a room with shared facilities. I mean, you have a room, but you have to share the bathrooms and other things, the kitchens and things. So you could get the one room for 250 per month, maybe. And then an ensuite room with a shared kitchen, the 500 sterling pounds per month. Plus, you'll have even higher ones, a studio type, a small room with a kitchen, a small kitchen actually. So again, 500 pounds plus, depending on the location, very close to the university or a bit far away. So then, and also university halls are also an option. So normally these are ensuite rooms with a shared kitchen, including all bills and things. So then it will be around 500 pounds plus again per month. And then the even you can buy a house or flat if you wish. Some students they do that if you have money. So then you can buy flat or house, and then you can sell when you go back after the studies. Right. So there are so many options, but there are so many the accommodation available around universities, because the UK is one of the countries the having a very strong higher education system, because the higher education is one of the main sources of the UK economy. So therefore they have all the infrastructure built on to attract students from all over the world. Right. So then the other living expenses for food and subsistence, the other travel and things, it could be, you can assume that it's 200 the plus sterling pounds per month, but it depends how you're going to live. If you want to go to the pubs, clubs, so then it will be a bit more expensive. But so then you can assume like the 200 to 500 pounds per month for living cost, and then also for the renting, it would be like the 500 something. So then this is a rough idea about how much you have to spend for your living. For example, I would say roughly the 5 to 7,000 pounds per year for your the living in the UK while you are doing studies. And if you want to know about whether you can work during your studies, this is also one of the main things you might be looking at. Yes, you can work, but it might be only 20 hours with the current regulation. So any student they can work up to 20 hours per week. So if you are international student, so then you can work up to 20 hours per week. So that is the allowable limit. So then you can earn roughly, the payment would be like, so normal payment would be 10 pounds per hour or so. So that is the normal the wage in the UK for hourly paid jobs. So then students can work 20 up to 20 hours if they can find a job as well. And also, if you come for a postgraduate study, so you might have some the possibility to contribute for the teaching as a teaching assistant. So then that is also possible. Then this is also one of the ways that you can earn so therefore, so you can work as a teaching assistant for some of the courses, and then you can earn some amount of money. So then if you can work as a teaching assistant, the payment would be slightly higher, so you can get up around 20 pounds per hour. So then that is also a possibility to earn some extra money as a student in the UK universities actually. Right. So then the as I said, ideally, so then your total living cost would be up to 7,000 per annum, but this could be varied based on the how you live, and then your living style or your lifestyle here. So then you can understand now. So you have to have the course fee paid, and then the living cost, and then so that is that those are the requirement, or those are the costs you have to cover during the studies in the UK. Right. So then if you got up, if you could able to win a good scholarship, so then those scholarship will cover both the course fees and living cost, most of them. But there are some scholarships they will cover only the course fee at least. So then you can cover the stipend or the living cost by yourself. So therefore there are lots of opportunities, and then you better to look into the websites and university website that I mentioned to, and it's always worth preparing a very good CV, and then they start contacting the potential supervisors and then or applying the making or making application for the potential projects. So in those websites, so then you might able to win a funded position in the UK, right? So I hope so. Then this helps, and then the wish you all the best with your search for higher studies in the UK. Thank you. Bye bye.